Hey everyone, welcome back to Mechabellum. In today's video, I want to showcase the carry boat setup, specifically running overload, range, and high explosive. I've been quite a fan of this ever since they buffed the overlord and giving it 5 flat range. What this allows you to do is get into the overload tech and still have 100 range, which means that you'll still be sitting behind things like sledgehammers, and that is a really helpful breakpoint. Now, I'll be up against a strong 201 player known as Corgi, just because his profile pic, which you currently can't see, but trust me, it is a profile pic of an animated Corgi. Now, I'll be playing steel balls and crawlers, a setup I quite like, and opponent is also steel balls, but with the fangs. Now, I know that he's a defensive player, so I wasn't expecting him to go aggressive on me, and either way, I think I have the upper hand, considering I do start with crawlers, which should beat fangs in the early game. I'll be picking up some hounds. I've been quite liking the hounds on the round 1. I think they perform a little bit better than something like Arclight, mostly because hounds are faster. They move at 10 meters a second, and so they keep up a bit more with something like a steel ball and a crawler, which obviously are moving in at 16. Now, opponent is a marksman spec. I am a giant specialist, and he'll be going for the double Arclights. Symmetrical setup here. I should be favored, and I am expecting to win. With this setup, I think I should get to the tower. I will even get a nice split there with the steel balls, which allows me to get some early locks, make good use out of those 9 seconds of debuff. And then all we have to do is move in, kill the final fangs, and get that round 1 victory. Now, round number 2, we are already facing a choice with Phantom Rays, Rhino, Typhoon, and Tarantula being offered. I don't think I need Tarantula, even though here it could be pickable. It's very good into Fang and it's high level already. But I have to think a little bit about the Phantoms, and I was thinking, well, with triple Fang, Typhoon makes quite some sense, and if I want to get into Boat, then Typhoon Boat is a classic combination that used to work quite well. So I decided to pressure the right tower, expecting my opponents to defend the left side a bit more, since he was losing rather quickly on round 1. And opponents will go for the Phantoms instead, trying to pressure my right side tower. I do have the crawler here to try and distract. I was somewhat expecting this. I'm not entirely sure though if a Typhoon can beat this pack. It will at least take some time for them to take this out at level 1. And I do decide to level up my tower on the right side as well, just in case I was getting flanked from the side. Opponent, moving back the Phantom this time around. Maybe not going to opt in for that tower pressure. Goes for a Stormcaller as well, which I found rather surprising. I wouldn't think that Stormcallers are that good. Also goes for a missile here, but I was expecting this, and I put a crawler in front of my steel balls. And that will tank very nicely, so the steel balls can still get in. Of course, opponent does have that level 3 marksman, which one-shots my level 1 steel balls. And opponent now moved his Phantoms on the right side. I think that's worst case scenario, as the Phantoms come in late and the crawlers are already gone. My Typhoon just doesn't quite have what it takes to get rid of these within a reasonable amount of time. And yeah, round 2 here, Paraspike turn will mean that we lose. And let's see how we can recover from this, if we can recover from this. Quick teleport shows up, improved melting point as well. I was a little bit scared about this, but opponent decides to skip. No real point going quick cooldown, but quick teleport can be nice. If I want to go for some flanks, I could put a crawler back here to try and distract the marksman, for instance. And now opponent going for sledgehammers and more fangs. This makes a lot of sense. Sledgehammers great at slowing down my steel balls, but I was expecting this somewhat, and I saw that the steel balls already weren't performing too well, so I decided to sell out of them. And instead, I already go for the Overlord, trying to make some use out of the setup I have on the right side with the Typhoon, and pushing into the right tower. Overlord will also be quite good, should be quite good into these enemy Phantoms, so it was a logical choice for me. Fangs are quite stagnant, and I do run high explosive ammo, so Might even consider taking that first. And especially seeing the sledgehammers now, I think the high explosive ammo tech is looking better and better. I do go for a deep flank there on the left side. And lucky for me, opponent doesn't try to pressure my left side tower, which is currently unleveled still. But I have to take some risks here and there. He did level his right side tower though, and well, my left side is now collapsing rather quickly. As of course I did sell out of my steel balls. And will we be able to scam the round is the question. Tower will go down, that marksman's still alive. And I think, yeah, that is going to get rid of that rather quickly, so... Bunch of damage taken as well on round 3, and I've shown my hand now that I want to try and play some Overlord. Round number 4, Nano Repair Kit shows up. Efficient Light Manufacturing is a good card, but it's not really what I want to go for, considering I want to buy more boats, and so I decide to skip and prioritize the expensive deployments here with the Typhoons and the boats. And by selling a steel ball, I am able to buy another Typhoon on the left side, another boat, and even click the high explosive ammo already. That should help me chaff clear a bit more. It should also be more effective against the steel balls and the sledgehammers. And so it felt like the right pickup in this scenario. Opponent decides to range his arc lights, so a bit of a setup turn for him. Not too worried about the air situation, it seems like. We'll opt only to keep this one marksman for now. And I do decide to level up my left tower this time around, trying to make sure that I don't get cheesed. HE will work wonders there on the right side, get rid of the phantoms instantly. We'll kill the arc light, and now we're pressuring the tower. Can we get the debuff before this boat goes down? Looks like we can. 7 seconds of debuff. I think the boat will still die, but at least it managed to clear some of the smaller units. Now the boat is moving in. Lucky for me, this tower is leveled. And so with the boat now moving in, it will actually live. And the round will be going over to me. Round number 5, we get a bunch of unit drops. Triple Phoenix there from my opponent. Doesn't look too bad as a response to my boats. And for me, I'm not too sure here. It might just be sabers and try to sell out of them. Nothing of use, I would say. The Wraith is tanky, but it presumably gets countered by the exact same thing as my boats, and so I will go for the Sabertooth and opt to sell one of them. And I'm trying to be a little bit cheeky here by spawning in this Sabertooth, knowing that I did pick the quick teleport, hoping that it'll instantly lock onto this arc light. And I was looking at the arrows and hoping that the marksman would lock on to the crawlers and the arc light would lock on to the Sabertooth, but I might have messed up here. I think if I look at this circle, the Sabertooth is still closer to the marksman, so it'll likely turn this way. I needed to put it a little bit further down, I think. Mustangs now being added as well, and look at this. So many deployments for my opponent. I didn't go for the deployments. Well, I added some, but mostly trying to prioritize the boats here. Get a second tech, that launcher overload, as well as the boat level. The nice thing here is have a look at this. So many clumped up units, so many small units from my opponent, but the high explosive 40 meters of splash really will help out against this type of board setup. And will also guarantee that I one-shot those enemy phoenixes. But man, the left side still struggling quite a bit even after that overload was clicked. And can we clutch up again? This high-level marksman, level 4, a real menace. And I mean, with the low hit points, I don't think we're going to have enough. Marksman will finish the job, and so I'll take a little bit more damage as we enter round number 6. We both take the EMP here. Sensible choice. I can't really protect my overlords right now, so I'll just have to take the hit on the chin, as it were. Trying to hit some of the enemy units here, but presumably there will be a shield. Either way, it'll help me just deal some damage to a shield if it shows up. And now I tried to be even more cheeky by adding another crawler, hoping that this saber does insta-lock, but opponent is clever enough to put a crawler in front to protect that arc light, so doesn't look like this will be working out. And here I'm just prioritizing more boats. I decided to already double tech them, so I need to make good use out of them and get my efficiency up. And so we buy 2 more boats, try and space them in such a way that they wouldn't get accidentally hit by the EMP. And I think we should be fine over there. Opponent now picking up some scorpions to try and deal with the typhoons. And that looks quite good. Right side already, it's gone. But keep in mind, if I can get to range enhancement as well, my boats can probably deal with everything by themselves. They've got the splash now, so even against the crawlers there, you can see they're deleting half a pack with a salvo. But man, woof. That was not an ideal round for me, and I'm taking a boatload of damage. Pun not intended. And now we have round 7. None of this all that helpful. It's too late for efficient giant manufacturing, and boats are quite expensive, so I think it's just going to be a skip. I can't put the barrier on my boat, sadly. So that'll just be a quick pass for the both of us. Range now picked up from my opponent on the scorpions. And what do I have to do here? I think the only thing I can do in this situation is just double down. Buy more boats. I now have those double techs. Maybe I can even get the 3rd tech as well with the range. And just try and get to a tower as fast as I can. The right side is still looking rather open. I do go for a loan, but so does my opponent. He smells blood as I'm down to 1100 hit points. I sell out of my Sabertooth, and we do afford the 3rd tech now with the range enhancement. Oil being put to use on the left side will slow down my army significantly. But I think my opponent still is on the low side of DPS, especially on the right side where there's no high-level marksman. The Phoenixes should struggle a little bit. Opponent now goes for Missile Interceptor, and I am not the biggest fan of this. This used to be a very, very powerful counter to Overlord, but a couple patches ago they buffed the missile hit points on the Overlord. And so as you can see, it really isn't very easy to intercept. Most of these shots are getting through. I am hitting the scorpions. I am killing the mustangs. And I really do wonder if here it is probably simply better to click something like the anti-air spec, the aerial specialization. And so with buying more boats and kind of doubling down on the techs, I will be picking up a round, dealing 800 damage there at the end. And round number 8, we get Ion Blast. And that is a lovely spell for me. Considering how bunched up my opponent is, I'll probably be able to hit a whole load of units here, get rid of more of the mustangs, maybe even hit the scorpions there, and it should allow me to get to tower that much faster. Of course, my opponent picks it up too. My units are lined up as well. But they are slightly tankier, and I'm not completely sure if the Overlord would die if I level it. I think it might be able to survive a pass if it kind of moves through it as it passes by. Now, I was expecting the Ion Beam to be on the right side, so I try and kind of move it out of the way. Opponent here will pick up range finally on his Phoenixes. And I am just deciding to go for triple crawler at this point. Opponent has some arc lights, but not too many, and crawlers are very useful against things like Mustang and Scorpion. Just to distract as much as we can. We do pick up the levels where we can. So now we have 3 level 2 boats on the right side and 1 on the left side. And let's see how does this Ion Beam perform. Left side, even though I am getting Ion Beamed, and I will lose that level 1 boat, my opponent will lose a lot as well. You can see all of the Mustangs are gone by this point. And my level 2 boat is tanking. Will it be able to survive that? Just about. So level 2 boat does survive the Ion Beam. And now we're moving in for the kill. Should get that Tara debuff. And with only a marksman and a phoenix left, I don't think my opponent will be able to win this round. Either way, we've killed enough stuff that we would be able to survive. And that's going to be another round with 3 boats surviving now. Damage stacking up, 1200 damage coming in. And we enter round 9, and again, Ion Blast. Oh boy, these duplicate spells are a very, very scary thing. And I was very happy with this because, again, I got so much value out of it last turn. And so this time around, I know that the electromagnetic impact is back, and I have a whole lot of bunched up overlords. And so I'm thinking, well, the 4th tech here, it's expensive at 900, but I can afford it. And I probably don't need more boats. I can probably just get away with more crawlers, maybe 1 more boat, but doesn't seem like I would need it. And yeah, I do sell out of my Typhoons at this point because, well, my opponents committed ranged Scorpions into them, and honestly, they weren't doing that much. They were just tanking shots for the most part, and it was the Overlords doing all of the killing. And yeah, we click the Photon here, another boat on the right side, a crawler on the flank as well. And with the temp range and the temp speed, this is looking quite good. Opponent is going for some Firehounds, trying to set on fire the crawlers. And also clicks Shard Shot on the Phoenixes. This will give them less range, and it looks like I will be hitting 2 of them on the right side. Pretty happy with that. And let's see, how does this pay off? If I can somehow manage to hit these Phoenixes all. Nice beacon backwards from my opponent there, avoiding the beam. Oh, they are coming back though, but maybe they'll be able to survive. Somehow they're just about staying outside of it. Oh, one of them will perish. But man, this Ion Beam looking mighty fine. Crushing the Stangs right side. The Photon making sure that my boats survive. And a good beacon will get the tower. And with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boats alive, you can do the math. That's going to be 2800 damage plus the crawlers. And that'll simply be game. So this was the carry boat. And yeah, I mean, you can look at my board. It's pretty much just crawlers and overlords at this stage. I know that you can play this with Typhoon if you want to, but I didn't really need to. My opponent just bunched up his units a lot, went for Scorpions, which are very bad into Overlord, obviously. And I was just able to get away with a full tech boat board. And they were doing everything. I do believe that it's a mistake to click Missile Interceptor in this instance. I don't think you should try and intercept boats anymore, especially if you're up against the Overload setup. It is simply too difficult now, which honestly is a pretty good thing because before this was unplayable. But yeah, it's kind of fun to see this make a comeback. I haven't seen it or played it in too many games, but it does seem viable in the correct situations. Either way, let me know what you think of Carry Boat below. Do you like this comp? Do you hate it? Do you not want it to return at all? Let me know. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up. If you want to stay up to date with my latest content, please consider subscribing. And if you want to see me play live, check me out on Twitch. With that being said, take care guys, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.